Thank you for joining me. Today's video will be a little bit different, not so structured and more of a rant. A rant on China, a rant on the Chinese Communist Party. You see, after seeing a clip of the Chinese Communist Party talking down to the Biden administration on American soil and telling them that they are not in a position of power or in a position of strength to negotiate, I got pissed off and decided to make this video. Take a look at the clip and see if you get pissed off too.
I'm hearing deep satisfaction that the United States is back, that we're re-engaged with our allies and partners. I'm also hearing deep concern about some of the actions your government is taking.
我们把你们想得太好了，我们认为你们会遵守基本的外交礼节。
Well, I think we thought too well of the United States. We thought that the U.S. side will follow the necessary diplomatic protocols.
所以我们刚才必须阐明我们的立场。
So for China, it was necessary that we make our position clear.
我现在讲一句，你们没有资格在中国的面前说你们从实力的地位出发同中国谈话。
So let me say here that in front of the Chinese side, the United States does not have the qualification to say that it wants to speak to China from a position of strength.
Did that piss you off? Because it pissed me off. And then you had the Chinese media saying things and tweeting things like this. Here, let me show you. 8 lives taken, 6 of them Asian. And the killer was just having a bad day. Hashtag stop AAP hate. Hashtag fight racism. From China News, a Chinese media company, tweeted this. Why? Because they're dividing you. They're fomenting hate amongst American people and they're showing the world that we don't have moral high ground. And they're right to do so because our idiot leaders like Kamala and Biden will not stop talking about how racist this country is, how serious the Asian American hate in this country is, how black people are being slaughtered by the systematically racist institutions of the United States. This is the most racist country in the history of the world, and it was founded on racism. That's what Kamala and Biden will have you believe. So we have Chinese folk going on media and going on the UN and standing on their moral high ground, condemning us for our human rights abuses. You've lost, man. China has full-blown concentration camps. Full-blown concentration camps. Yet, we don't have the moral high ground on them. We actually do. But the world doesn't see that. Why? Because our leaders admit how horribly racist we are. Way to go, Joe. China Joe. Beijing Biden. Good job. Now we're going to take a look at the clip again, and I want you to pay close attention to the person, the woman, sitting next to Blinken. Take a look at her hair. What color is it? Okay? This will be important later. Take a look.
We'll also discuss our deep concerns with actions by China, including in Xinjiang, Hong Kong, Taiwan, cyber attacks on the United States, economic coercion toward our allies. Each of these actions threaten the rules-based order that maintains global stability.
倒打一把是不行的。
Well, you can't blame this problem on somebody else.
I have to tell you, what I'm hearing is very different from what you described.
Did you take a look at her hair? What color was it? A bluish, purplish type of thing? Well, did you know that the Chinese have a term for Westerners with bluish, purplish, and pinkish hair? It's called baizu, or how they like to pronounce it, baizu. Let me read you the definition. A baizu, or however you pronounce it, is a Chinese epithet meaning naive, Western, educated person who advocates for peace and equality only to satisfy their own feelings of moral superiority. A baizu only cares about topics such as immigration, minorities, LGBT, and the environment while being obsessed with political correctness to the extent that import backward Islamic values for the sake of multiculturalism. The Chinese see the baizu as ignorant and arrogant Westerners who pity the rest of the world and think they are saviors. That's just a definition. Check out how Tucker Carlson expands on that.
The Chinese know our leaders very well. In fact, they have a name for our self-hating professional class. They call them Baisao. The rough translation from the Mandarin is white liberal, and it is definitely not a compliment. As Chinese state media notes, quote, former U.S. President Obama was considered an advocate of Baisao ideology. So is German Chancellor Angela Merkel in her decision to welcome more than 1 million third world immigrants to Europe. end quote. Other observations about Baisaw, as reported by Chinese state media, include the fact that they, quote, advocate inclusiveness and anti-discrimination, but cannot tolerate different opinions. Baisaw's political opinions are, quote, so shallow that they tend to maintain social equality by embracing ideologies that run against the basic concept of equality. Amazing.
According to Jack Posobiec, a wonderful and informative fellow, works with OAN, ex-service member, Biden was extremely upset at Blinken for bringing a purple-haired staffer to the meeting with the CCP. Now, I'm skeptical about this because I don't know if Biden is aware enough to know that a staffer with purple hair would be counterproductive in a meeting with the CCP. I was also a little skeptical because Jack Posobiec works with OAN, doesn't really like the Biden administration. So is he reporting truthfully? And does he have access to White House officials? And the answer is yes, I think. Time and time again, he has proven that his sources are legit. The Chinese believe the US is no longer the world superpower. The Chinese believe they are top dogs. The Chinese act as if they were top dogs. The Chinese act in defiance towards the United States. Have you heard about the Belt Road Initiative? Let me fill you in. China has been giving loans to countries in Latin America, Asia, and Africa. Massive loans. In fact, in Africa and South America, China is the #1 lender. Nice. Side note, do you know how America became the important, powerful nation it is today? I mean, there's a lot of reasons, but the main reason is World War II. After World War II, Europe was destroyed. The whole world was destroyed, really. So they got loans from the United States. And then they turned around, and with their newly acquired loans, they bought goods from the United States. And the United States became richer and richer and richer and more powerful. China's trying to do something similar. They're giving loans to all these continents, basically. And then they're saying, hey, we can help you build your infrastructure. And that's what they're doing. They're building infrastructure. They're building networks all over Africa, all over South America, all over Asia. They're building islands so they can have trade routes or, store their Navy ships, which is the largest Navy in the world right now. When they build a port for another nation, because the Chinese are extremely nice, it is very important for the Chinese that the ports are able to support the Chinese the Chinese People Liberation Army's Navy. Why? It's a commercial port. Why do you need to be able to dock your warships there? Interesting. The Chinese are slowly taking over. So not only do they have access to all the networks, the roads, the ports, the online stuff in these nations, in these continents, they own them. They can shut them down whenever they want. They can spy whenever they want. And the rest of the countries are client states of China. They're all in the pocket of China. And soon enough, it's going to be China and a large portion of the world against the US and the small amount of countries that stand with similar or the same values. Many times I wondered if America and the rest of the world knew about the concentration camps during World War II. Would they have invaded sooner? I mean, I must admit, I'm biased because as a Jew, I would have liked to know that everyone would have invaded as soon as they found out. I think I would have invaded as soon as I found out. And the question was just hypothetical. But now the question is real. There are full-blown concentration camps in China. The Uyghur Muslim people in China are being systematically raped, systematically sterilized, and systematically exterminated. Are we all going to sit back and do nothing about it? Can I sweeten the deal if I tell you that by using this slave labor, it's helping China become the supreme power that it wants to be? Does that sweeten the deal? Do you want to invade now? But they got nuclear weapons. I get it. We don't want to go into nuclear winter. So I don't know what the clear answer is. What do you guys think about this whole situation? Do you think a hot war is completely out of question because of the possible consequences of a nuclear winter? Because that's a valid reason to not want to go to war. At the same time, when you have a rising power challenging the current supreme power, getting little allies on their side, having slave labor on their side, what do? Do you just stand back and let it happen? Because I don't want to live in a world dominated by China because I'm convinced they're going to make us all into slaves. They do it to the Uyghur Muslims in China. Why not do it to the gingers in America? Down with the CCP. Enough. enough is enough. Let's do a blockade around them. Starve them out till they overthrow their own government. I don't know. Comment your opinions down below. What do you think is the proper solution to the Chinese threat? Thank you for watching. Like, subscribe for more Chinese content. And I do other stuff too. See you next time.